Hello everyone, this is I Mark 3, and welcome back to From the Depths. You join me in what is about to be a bit of a serious firefight between my Locust, a pair of flying squirrels, and an angry chicken, which is probably one of the oddest names I've come across. But this might be a problem because the Locust is slightly under repairs. I didn't fit any heavy artillery, like I mentioned I wouldn't. But it's also spent all the metal trying to get itself patched up with some of the upgrades I've given it. And these flying squirrels, then they're okay. Very small, very fast, but I think the Locust can take them on. The problem is this angry chicken. It seems to lag the recording a fair bit when it's around. So that might be a problem, and this battle might not go in my favour. Either way, I tried to fight this battle before, and it crashed. So this is round 2, I think it is now. Yeah, it's round 2. I have faced an angry chicken before, but it was in a different campaign with a small fleet rather than a single big capital ship. So I'm just going to have to see how I do this time round. I was planning to walk you through some of the upgrades and things I've put onto the Locust. It's a lot more manoeuvrable now, it's a lot faster. It's got some anti-aircraft guns, sort of, and it's actually got a couple of drone craft on the back, but you're going to see its baptism in fire, effectively, when it gets thrown in against these flying squirrels and the chicken. So this bird mob, effectively, and the battle is about to start in about half a minute, because it's on 0.1 speed. Haha. Unfortunately, 0.1 speed means it's spawned out, so I can't actually show you what it is. Oh well. There's no point in waiting any longer. The Locust can't patch itself up any further than this. It's not quite intact, but it should be able to do a good account of itself. Prepare for battle. Now, there have been some comments about the dropped frame rate quality since last time I played and recorded this, so I'll just mention a few things now. I have updated my drivers to the latest. I'm going to increase the block settings to 16,000, I think, because the Locust is a bit bigger than it was before. And I've also updated my recording software, updated my sound capture software, and I actually encountered that frame loss problem with Space Engineers, and I solved it by dropping resolution. So I've dropped this down to about 720p instead of 1080. So that all should make things a bit smoother, but with a chicken around, this fight is still going to go a bit on the slow side. So, let's get in there and show you what the Locust now looks like. Though it's going to be full of holes in a few minutes. Now it pauses because it's launching those 2 craft there. Whoop, off they go. And one fell because it doesn't have an engine. Yeah, I was afraid of that. That was the anti-aircraft firing off a volley for some reason. And they just blew my own radar dish off. What the hell? Okay, those AA cannons need a bit of a rethink, I think. What am I against anyway? Oh, it's just one of the squirrels that spawned in. That's not too bad. I've done more damage to myself than that squirrel has. But yeah, anyway. While that's 2 damage, these are my AA guns. I've got 6 of them. They are rigged 45-degree angle of fire all directions. Oh, it's the squirrel. 45-degree angles in all directions. So that was intended to attack any aircraft that got too close, but as you just saw, the tower is a bit of a problem because it shot my radar off. But yeah, behind that, I've also added that drone platform with a couple of drones in it. These are my first working aerial drone, really. Small, kind of manoeuvrable. I built them after running into flying squirrels in the previous campaign. They've got twin missile launchers and twin light cannons, so they're pretty good. I don't want to be sitting around because the enemy's trying to shell me. At least that little mayfly, which I've called them, is going to cause a bit of a distraction. But yeah, I think you can see the mobility upgrade in action here. Look how fast it's going. It is kind of ridiculous now. This ship was doing about 6 to 9 before, and I just lost the magazine already. Damn it. It was doing 6 to 9 before, but now its top speed is about 32. So yeah, it's much better than it was before. But it's not going to help it too much against this big chicken that's bearing down on it. Oh dear. That's my other magazine on that side of the ship going up. Not good. The anti-aircraft guns are doing absolutely diddly squat. Oh dear, I just lost the magazine on the other side of the ship. That's not good at all. Yeah, you can see what I mean about the... Oh, that's another magazine going up. Am I dead in the water? Yes, I am. My power plants have been blown up. Yes, it's because of this angry chicken with its big cannons. I'm not really outfitted to try and combat it. Not effectively, anyway. My ship is just too vulnerable. All power is being diverted to the engines, actually, because I don't have any ammo processors on the thing. So there is that, at least. All power to the engines. Try to get away from it. Because at this kind of range, it's just chewing me to pieces. What's attacking it? Oh. One of my mayflies is bravely attacking it from above. And not doing much because the angry chicken's got anti-missile lasers. How fast am I even going now? Yeah, I'm only managing about 9. So my maximum speed has been cut to about less than a third, actually. About a quarter of its normal. And I'm taking heavy damage. So the angry chicken is taking some damage as well. And my weapons are still firing. That's what counts. All the missiles are just turning around. And it's pummeling my propellers now, so... oh well. Was it? Oh, that was one of my magazines going up again. I think I've only got one magazine left at the moment. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. But yeah, as you can see, I did do a manoeuvrability update. It's like just over double its previous length, but it's not very durable, to be perfectly honest. It's not very durable at all, and it's sinking. This might be a problem. I'm just going to keep peppering it with missiles, because that thing is taking a bit of damage as well at the moment. Because it can't stay in the air anymore. But the Locust is absolutely full of holes, just like I predicted. So, I hope that you're all satisfied with that. How's the chicken doing? Well, I'm getting some distance on it because the chicken is actually getting completely shredded as well. Its entire side has been torn off. The problem is its main artillery cannons are absolutely shredding me. I'm going to have to put some thought into that. Oh dear. Well, the entire flight deck's been blown off the Locust now. What's my speed at? Maximum speed is at 5. Still alive somehow. Problem is I'm very low on metal, so... Oh. You, sir, are a very, very nasty ship. Airship helicopter thing. And I do not like you, you stupid angry chicken. Oh, at least I'm doing some serious damage to him in return. But I'm not sure how much more of this pounding the Locust can actually take. Oh, level up, thank you. What? Well, I've got both mayflies are in the air. And my anti-aircraft guns are actually finding something to shoot at now. I think they've been shelling at the chicken, actually. Come on, turn. Yep, they're trying to shell the chicken at long range. I've got to give those guns credit, actually. I wonder if I fitted them with some... Oh, there goes something. Let's fit them with a couple of elevation barrels. Let's see if giving them some extra range of movements can help out. Custom cannon. Elevation barrel. Lock. And position above firing piece. Will that do anything to their firing range? Oh, that entire barrel's about to fall off. Okay. My engine is absolutely shot. Well, actually my backup engine and my main engine are both absolutely shot. This thing's barely operational. Still alive. Still firing. I do not want to think about how much resources this will take to fix up again, because this is the Holey Locust now, because it is so very full of. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Straight through the sides of the ship, through the middle of the ship. Everywhere along that side is just peppered. This side is okay somehow. I think it's because I damaged the chicken before I turned this side to face it properly. That launcher is not working. Oh, hey, I won. The chicken's dead. Huzzah. But at quite a cost, though. Quite a cost. All my drones are all working very, very hard. Yeah, the Locust despawned. No, not the Locust. The chicken is lost because the Locust outlasted it in the fight somehow, which actually just leaves the angry squirrel, which the mayflies are going straight after. It shouldn't take too long. I kind of built the mayflies as a kind of air superiority style drone, so sooner or later they're going to hit that squirrel, unless the Locust beats them to it, and I better turn because it's about to crash into the side of an island. Oh dear. Yeah, it's going to catch it as soon as it starts trying to do its bombing runs, really. Look at all those missiles just chasing after it. It just dropped some bombs. Good for that. The mayflies are trying to follow it. Good for them. And yeah, one missile connected, it goes boom. And I know my resource collectors aren't working. It's because... Wait, that missile system's been functional? Whoops. Oh well. Battle finished. Huzzah. But at a slight cost, because my mayflies did okay. Their docking port's going to be completely destroyed though. But the Locust itself is an absolute wreck. Let's see what health rating it's at. What's your health rating? 72%. 72% doesn't sound too bad. It's actually mostly intact, but you've got to bear in mind that's 72% of the better part of 1.3 million resource points. So yeah, this is going to be an absolute pain to fix. I need to make this thing a bit more durable. An absolute freaking pain to fix. I better get back to that resource pocket. And I better think about installing a movement AI so I don't have to target... Why is it? Bit of lag there. I think it's... No, I didn't clip the side. It'll patch itself up eventually, because it's got a whole extra battery of repairers on the back here. But look at that hole there. That, you know what? Heck with this. Turn off the hood. I'm going to make this the image for this video, because it pretty much tells everything that there is to do. Everything there is to say about this particular fight. Screenshot there, thank you. That'll do. Oh wow, yeah, my propellers have been kind of torched. Anyway, while it's on, kind of chugging its way back to base, limping back towards the resource pocket over there. If I can get it lined up straight. It's only got 66 power in its engine, because the rest of its engine's got blown to pieces. That is bad. I might as well just rebuild some of the engines from scratch, to be honest. That would be faster than waiting for the repair systems to kick in. Anyway, might as well walk you through some of the upgrades while I'm limping around. Ish. First off, most importantly, I've added an actual prow to this ship instead of it being a big school bus on the front. Before I did that, I was thinking, this ship is too boxy, it's too slapped together, I really don't like it too much. But then, as I did the manoeuvrability upgrade on it on the front and did the prow, as you can see, it's all now curved and sloped, and I am much, much, much happier with it now that it's actually got this bit of aesthetic design to the front of it. Why do radar pieces keep falling off? I don't know. So yeah, it doesn't look like a big school bus anymore. It's more like an attempt to mimic a fast car or something like that on the front, with a bit of a blunt bullet nose. So yeah, I am actually quite happy with that, and to be honest, it will take a long time to do, but I am looking forward extremely to stylising the rest of the ship, because this nose was the last part I added to it. And it looks so much better for it. I can't even begin to describe. But then it's got that big block on the front here, like the start of the buildings, things like that. It actually looks a bit like a proper ship, which is the strangest part. Now then, what else did I done? I also rounded the sides here, as well, as you can see. Rounded around here. Then this central section here I left more or less intact. I didn't do a thing to it. Though the enemy shells did quite a lot to it. I will need to round things out and do that. But this is still the primary weapon systems and the front here. I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time. I think I did. It was well, might have mentioned it in the last video, might not have, but this is downgraded to a 10 tube launcher instead of a 16 tube launcher. That's to reduce missile lag and stuff like that, but there has actually been an update since the last video as well, so I think performance has been improved too. And there's also the fact I reduced resolution and stuff like that. Then moving on from here, this is where the back of the ship used to be. It used to be here. But then I sloped it down here. I added in another magazine in the middle, which is here. Right underneath the fuel, and going underneath the prow of the ship. And then this entire back section is completely new. And this is all the upgrade that I mentioned before. I started off with, well, you can see what's left of it. This is what's left of an upgraded engine room. I mentioned when I was first building this, I wanted to have space to expand the engine in the front, but I kind of walled all that off with how I built it. So I built another engine room in the back, and this one increased its power from 9,000 to the order of about 54,000 in total. So plenty of power, because I plan to install lasers at some point. Then I box sectioned it back out here, built these two sidearms, and in the middle I built the new propeller assembly, which is using a little trick which, so I'll just show you here. Yeah. As you can see, all of these are large propellers, but they are all overlapping and woven together. And that's because for obstruction of a large propeller, it only counts the central block, not the outer blades. So you can put other large propellers overlapping in front of it, and it doesn't reduce the power. So you can fit a lot more propellers into a much more compact space. That gives it a whole ton of propellers in the back here. Though with so many damaged, it's really struggling to actually put out any real velocity at the moment. It's putting all of its power into it, and it's only managing nearly 4 meters a second because of how badly shot up the engines are. And it's taken an absolute age to fix. And I don't have the metal to fix it either. So yeah, there is that. I added some more repairs on there, and I've rounded off the ends slightly, but nothing like as much as I did at the front. And I just built this lazy big slope under here, linking the two parts of the ship together, making it much longer, more effective. And then in my other campaign I started to encounter things like the flying squirrels and stuff like that, so I added some more weapon systems. This is a 2-tube missile launcher, though half it's been blown to pieces. and it's fitted to its own separate control AI, which is, again, kind of blown to pieces. And that's just prioritised to target small, fast, high-flying targets, like the flying squirrels. So yeah, that's an anti-aircraft missile, and it's a fast-tracking one, supposedly. Though it's kind of a hodgepodge version of that. And back here was my main attempt at an anti-aircraft system. 6 rapid-fire cannons, with, as I mentioned, 45-degree angles all over the place. And it was some nicely rounded metal armour on the sides until it got kind of shot up there. But I think I'm going to tear out those cannons actually, because the first thing I saw them do at the beginning of this video was blast my own radar tower off. I'm not exactly happy with that. Now back here, you saw at the beginning of the video was a platform which hosted just a pair of support drones. They're still flying around up there, as you can see. Nice and high in the sky, playing around. And I was just mucking around with drone aircraft and things like that. As I said, that's my first functional one. And I wound up thinking, hey, this would be a perfect fit for the Locust, and it needs some support vehicles anyway. So I kind of slapped onto the back of it a couple of drones, set it up as a mothership. It also launches if an enemy gets too close. And if there's no enemies left, it recalls the drones back into their docking platforms and stuff like that. But it's really basic. The drones tend to blow themselves up half the time when they're actually launching in the first place. Not so good. And it's not from colliding with the main ship, by the way. It's because they fire their own missiles as soon as they try to take off, and they sometimes detonate. Other than that, they're pretty good. But you saw that it wasn't quite complete when the battle started. Now let's see if I can go and capture one of these things. Actually, I should make this easy on myself and just turn one of the AIs off. That'll send one of them plummeting to the ground. Here we go. Well, kind of drifting slowly to the ground. No, I didn't want that. Is that going to land on top of me? It is, isn't it? Oh, no, not quite. Okay. Let's get back into build mode. There we go. Now then, this, ladies and gents, is the Mayfly, such as it is. This one's upside down, which is kind of convenient. But as you can see, it's just a basic arrangement. It's got some propellers. No, it's not got propellers. It's got some wings, ailerons, tail fins tucked into the body. It's powered by a single big jet engine on the back. So, whoop-de-doo, it's got a lot of power. It actually gets up to about 52, 53 meters a second. So that's really fast. And as you can see, it wavers all over the place as it goes as well. It makes it a bit hard to target with with cannons and missiles. Lasers would absolutely tear it out of the air, though, in the middle of a fight. It's got some repair systems on it, so it can actually fix itself up if it gets blown to pieces. It's got my trademark design flaw of having a habit of exploding. Have I ever shot the resource pocket? I think I have. Darn it. It explodes if the rear half gets hit in the wrong way, but it's got a repair drone on the nose, so it can actually fix itself if it gets blown in half, which is quite a nice touch, I think. It's built around a heavy engine, so that's adds some weight and cost to it. But that's the only way I found to actually get the power for all of its ammunition processors. Yes, this thing runs on metal for its ammunition needs, but it's got a pair of fast-tracking dual warhead missiles for close-range interception work, and it's backed up by some light cannons. These are just simple cannons, but it gives a couple of cannonballs and an extra option when attacking surface targets. There's no chance in hell they could hit an aircraft or something like that. It also gives it something to shoot at subs as well, which is also important. Let's get this thing back in the air. Combat mode, thank you. That should, yep, that's triggered its deployers. It's just taking off now, and off it goes. Yep, I overshot quite badly there. I think my turning rudders are still working. Yep, I can still turn, sort of. Actually, why am I turning? I should just turn this way and then back up. That'll go faster. Just turn into reverse, thank you. Off we go. My engine power is actually recovering quite nicely. It was down to 60, but now it's up to 415. Not exactly great, but you know. You take what you can get, really. Oh, I also upgraded with some large propellers under here as well, to give it more turning force. But yeah, I think that's walked you through pretty much all of the upgrades that I've put onto this ship. And along with that kind of unexpected fight at the start, and all of this babbling on about the brilliant and wonderful upgrades which I did to the ship, along with its top speed of 32 meters a second, if it wasn't absolutely full of holes and lost most of its engines. I think that about covers, yeah, that about covers all that I've done to it. But unfortunately, it doesn't really leave much for me to actually do in this episode, because, as you can see, the ship is absolutely crippled until it gets itself patched up a bit. I'm definitely taking those anti-aircraft guns off, though. They were worse than useless. I corrected the missiles so that they wouldn't hit the radar dish, but I can't do that with the guns. They just blew it straight off. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, ooh, yeah, there is that bug with the oil extractors on a mobile ship. That's not right. I am getting oil, aren't I? No, I'm not. Okay. Let's try reset. Oh, no wonder. It's the shields are having problems as well. Okay. Other gathering oil drills, turn them off so that they can retract. Is that going to fix it? No, I might have to reload to fix that. That's okay, I was intending to anyway, but yeah, it's getting a bit patched up, as you can see. Now then, plans for the future. Now that my ship is absolutely holed, I can't proceed straight away into upgrading it with siege cannons, and I can't proceed with generally attacking the Deepwater Guard again. So I'm going to do that next episode once I've had a chance to actually fix this massive hulk of wrecked timber and bent metal. I'm not going to do any further upgrades on it though. I'm going to save that because I'm kind of consciously aware I did a few upgrades that I wasn't planning to. So yeah, next episode I'm going to charge down this channel and try to find a fresh resource zone to try and start taking resources from. Oh, there's 1,000 metal there. I need that, but my maximum speed is only 6 meters a second. There's no point. Not with how fast the metal's regrowing in this one. This one would fill up and waste a ton of resources before I could get back. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll fix this ship up, and then next episode I'm going to start taking the fight to Deepwater Guard. At the very least, I need to find some of the sources of all these fleets attacking me, because, well, the Angry Chicken, it only has a 1% spawn chance apparently, but once was enough. It did a ton of damage. So yeah, this is Iron Mark III, and thank you for listening to me rant about what I did to this ship that got torn to pieces. So yeah, I'll catch you some other time. Goodbye.